binubuwisan natin ng VAT, kinokolekta natin sa kuryente ang hindi naman dapat kinokolekta. In fact, this was corrected a few years ago. Nasaan yung listahan dito? Yung lifeline subsidy, yung systems loss. We are collecting VAT on electricity that is not being used. Lifeline subsidies, systems loss, senior citizens subsidies, at yung electric cooperative capex contribution. These are not electricity na ginagamit ng tao pero nangongolekta tayo ng VAT. DOE at ERC, sumagot kayo. Bakit hindi natin i-correct ito? Sa panahon ng krisis, ay bakit hindi natin tanggalin na kaagad ito? Please do not tell me it's not possible. Kasi ginagawa na ng BIR sa dalawang bagay. Pag hindi nyo alam, sabihin nyo. Pero tignan nyo. Kasi makakatulong ito sa pinakamahihirap na kumukonsumo ng kuryente.
Chair.
Before we leave the NEDA, the DepDev, I'd like to hear the opinion of Sec Balisacan on what we mentioned to include VAT. I know this is supposed to be DOF, but of course this affects the whole economy, and I'd like to hear from you. The suggestion earlier, and there's a pending bill to include VAT aside from what we pass, the excise tax, and second, to suspend the VAT on the basic commodities and over-the-counter medicines.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I actually have we have actually done that exercise of the impact, examining the impact of the excise tax first and the various scenarios, and obviously that the reduction of the excise tax or the removal of the excise tax for that period, for those periods when the oil prices exceed $80 per barrel. So it's not for the entire year, but for this. But still, that would reduce the impact on inflation quite significantly. In fact, so from that angle, we can also reduce the impact of the crisis and the overall economy, because that the much lower inflation will offset the reduction in the purchasing power of households, and also put lower pressure on the BSP to get the policy rates again back to higher rates. Hopefully, we won't get there, no. But it's very important we manage inflation well, because that will have several implications from a macroeconomic perspective. And then when we include the VAT, of course the impact is even more is even greater, no, for GDP, for interpreting the reduction in GDP, in inflation and unemployment. But this exercise did not take into account what can possibly give up. As I said earlier, and in fact, we did one exercise where suppose you do reduce the VAT and excise tax. Of course, you forgo just for oil. We haven't done that for the basic commodities yet. Just for the oil, you would obviously have foregone revenues, and then but we say okay, but we stick to our fiscal consolidation program, because our credit watchers, the international community is watching how we are committing to the and managing the fiscal house, and so the exercise we did is, suppose you keep, despite this reduction in or removal of those taxes, you still would go for a fiscal consolidation as approved through a resolution by Congress. Then the only way you can do that is reduce the spending. And so you have cut the DBM has to cut back on spending. Where to cut back is that's one matter. But regardless, it will cost GDP, the national economy to slow down even more. So that's the issue. But I think if hopefully that I was hoping that as we look into improving the fiscal, the targeting of fiscal resources, support systems. We will also can identify potential sources of revenue so that you can mitigate any negative effects on overall spending.
Mr. Chair, we have one of the most regressive tax systems in ASEAN kasi tayong 12%. And the 12% on basic food items, yung mga kinakain talaga ng low income, pinakamahirap, it's a levy on the poor. It's a levy on the poor eh. Sa panahon ng krisis ngayon, pakita lang natin na may suggestion dyan, wealth tax, sige, gumawa tayo. Tapos itong levy o binubuisan na kinakain na mahihirap dahil napakataas ng food inflation, we'll get to that sa DTI, ay maski panandalian lang. Sana makuha natin yung computation dyan. Maliban dyan po, binubuwisan natin ng VAT, kinokolekta natin sa kuryente ang hindi naman dapat kinokolekta. In fact, this was corrected a few years ago. Nasaan yung listahan dito? Yung lifeline subsidy, yung systems loss. We are collecting VAT on electricity that is not being used. Lifeline subsidies, systems loss, senior citizens subsidies, at yung electric cooperative capex contribution. These are not electricity na ginagamit ng tao ha. Pero nangongolekta tayo ng VAT. DOE at ERC, sumagot kayo. Bakit hindi natin i-correct ito? Sa panahon ng krisis ay bakit hindi natin tanggalin na kaagad ito? Hindi kailangan. Huwag niyo sasabihin na naman nag-break ang Senado at sumulat kami pwedeng tanggalin. Kasi ang BIR, nandito ba kayo? Ginagawa na ng BIR 2 years ago. Natuklasan nila na mali pala ang pag-implement ng ilang pag-kolekta ng VAT sa, uulitin ko, universal charge, fit-all, systems loss, lifeline subsidies. Hindi yan kinokolekta, hindi naman ginagamit. So, tumutulong ka na, di ba, lifeline subsidies, bubuwisan ka ba? Di ba? Ano ba yung VAT? Kailangan yan yung value added eh. So, I put on the table, DepDev, SEC, yung sabi ni Senbam, may paano ka lang batas na, yun yung dagdagang VAT maliban sa excise. I put on the table yung murang bilihin at medical items na talagang basic. At sinabi ko yung epekto ng 5 piso sa isang banig ng paracetamol. And I put on the table, I filed the bill, and Chair Pia was very interested. I'm sure the Chair, ito ay hindi ginagamit na kuryente, pero systems loss, pinapatawan ng VAT. O ERC, anong ginagawa niya tungkol dyan? Sinabi na ba niyo sa BIR? At ang BIR ba ay bukas ang kaisipan kasi ginagawa na nila para sa iba. So may I hear from NEDA, DepDev, SEC, and may I hear from both DOE and ERC. Please do not tell me it's not possible kasi ginagawa na ng BIR sa dalawang bagay. Pag hindi nyo alam, sabihin nyo. Pero tignan nyo kasi makakatulong ito sa pinakamahihirap na kumukonsumo ng kuryente. Sec, thank you.
Can we have a quick response from Sec Balisacan on that query?
Our position, Mr. Chair, is that we should explore all possibilities, all options, and see what is most affordable, sustainable, most efficient, that would achieve the objective that Senator Loren just mentioned. Yeah, it's we just from where I stand, the burden is really ensuring that as we respond to these issues and problems, that we are not curtailing our options and in the medium and the long term. Sana yung response natin is something that will put us back to higher growth and more inclusive growth as in the medium to long term. Kasi ang nakikita na natin, medyo humihina ngayon yung lumalayo tayo sa long term growth path na gusto natin. Sana hindi matutuluyan yan. We'll go back. That's the only way we can catch up with our neighbors.
Thank you. With the indulgence of our colleagues, we'll have one more presentation from Department of Agriculture because obviously food security is a very important matter and it's also directly hit by the situation in the Middle East. So
Let me answer my question about bakit nagkokolekta ng VAT sa Lifeline subsidy. ERC. Oo.
quick response,
Yeah, ERC. Thank you.
Chairman Nino.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yung pong system loss charge, ito po ay generation cost at transmission cost na nire-recover ng ating mga distribution utility. Inunbundle lang natin yung iba't ibang components ng singil ng kuryente ayon sa EPIRA at nakareflect siya at system loss. Dahil ito ay para sa kabayaran sa mga kuryenteng na i-deliver sa ating mga utilities, ito ay napapatawan din ng VAT. Kung ito ay hindi isinegregate o inihiwalay bilang charge, ito po ay makakasama sa generation charge ng ating mga utilities, ganun din sa transmission. Pero po, nakipag-usap na rin kami sa BIR. Sa matagal na panahon, kasama rin po namin yung mga party list, APEC at saka yung PhilReca upang mapakiusapan ang BIR kung po pwede na pagdating na i-segregate na nga yung generation cost at transmission cost na patungkol doon sa system loss ng ating mga iba't ibang distribution utilities. Baka naman pwede sa puntong ito ay hindi na isama doon sa base na ma-iimplementahan ng 12% VAT. Kaya lang po ay maraming pag-uusap na rin sa harapan, maayos at wala naman pong natutuloy dahil pagkatapos ng meeting kapag wala na po yung kasama naming congressman ng party list ay pag nagpa-follow up kami sa BIR ay hindi ganun pa rin ang nagiging posisyon. Ngayon po mayroon kaming inaaral sa komisyon dahil nga din po sa sitwasyon na ngayon kung po pwedeng kami na mismo ang hindi na magpapasingil sa mga distribution utilities nitong VAT na ito. Lamang ay dahil ito ay patuloy pa rin kokolektahin ng ating BIR mula sa generation company at sa transmission concessionaire, sila na po ang papasan nito. Ito po ay mangangahulugan ng mga 0.8 centavo per kilowatt hour na kabawasan sa ating bayarin sa ating electricity bill at ito ay i-absorb bilang cost ng ating mga generation companies at transmission concessionaire.
We'll request Chairman Nino to submit to us a position paper on that, no? Para mapag-aralan rin and we can furnish the Committee on Ways and Means para mapag-aralan yan.
Mr.
Yes,
Chair,
Mr. Chair.
the fact na ang BIR ini-implement na yung hindi pagpataw ng VAT sa universal charge, ibig sabihin, tama po yung posisyon na linahad po natin. At the fact na nagpulong kayo, tapos sabi nyo pagkatapos kinalimutan na, ay nagkalimutan lang kayo, di i-follow up nyo, hindi naman kailangan legislation yan eh. Yan ay maling pagpataw ng VAT sa mga ilang items na hindi dapat binabayaran ng tao. Hindi naman to makakabigat sa generation o sa kumpanya o sa co-op, hindi eh. Pinapatawan ng VAT, pinapass on sa mahihirap, ay hindi naman dapat nilang bayaran. Alam kong naintindihan nyo the fact na nagpulong kayo and the fact na ang BIR 2024 ay tinignan na ito at ginagawa sa universal charge. Tapos kailangan magbigay sila ng komprehensibong report tungkol dyan sa chair ng Protect Committee at Ways and Means rin. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you.